Peace, peace, peace. What's poppin', my weebles? It's your boy, Sincere 7, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. Look at representing the House of Genesis, the Healing House. And that's why, that's where it's coming from the conversation today, coming from on this one, the Healing House. The Healing House. I just wanted to just tap in with the minds of the people and ask, why aren't there more men in the healing arts? Why aren't there more men as healers, holding healing circles, holding healing understandings, modalities, and things of this nature? You know, that just came to me. Like, since I've been teaching the alternative healthcare practitioners and snake venom practitioners and things like that, the majority of the individuals that come through for training are women. And I've started to realize and notice that, I started to realize and notice that the majority of the healing spaces that are offered and the individuals who are offering the information around the healing with the kingdoms, the different minerals and the herbs and mushrooms and, things for our bodies and for our health. The majority of this is being presented by and taught by women. And not that I have an issue with it. I'm just noticing that there seems to be a heavy lack of masculine energy in the healing realms. And I wonder about that. I was having a discussion with somebody the other day and was saying how when it comes to martial arts, a lot of people think that this is just about fighting and combat and different things like that. And I was explaining that, that in my training, that I got to a certain point to where it was like, what am I actually training for? And how much do I want to know? How far do I want to become a ninja? Like, what is it I'm trying to achieve? Am I trying to be able to successfully add skills to protection of my family and things? Or am I trying to train to destroy a motherfucker in the ring? Or, what is it? And then it was like, because the balance of that is that there's different aspects of martial arts. And one of them is the combat. And another one of them is the medicine art. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody shoots you with a poisonous dart or hits you with that, 5 pressure point thing that start to shut down different organs and all of this, well, do you know how to alchemize that? Do you know how to change that? Do you know how to reverse that? Do you know how to, right? So it's this type of balance with, destruction as well as healing and building. And so I decided to take my martial arts studies into the body, into the internal arts as opposed to the external arts. And I love it, and it's just something that I've wondered about the more that I move around and meet other practitioners and healers and things of this nature. There's not very many of us, and not just men, but Black men. You know what I'm saying? Because when I went to the biohacking conference and I spoke at the biohacking conference, there's plenty of men in these spaces. They are white men, though, usually. And the spaces that they are in, they've created a lane for themselves, right? They've mastered something and run through it, right? As you should. So it's like, okay, but it's not usually, from what I've seen, rooted in healing of the body. It's usually into supercharging or taking your, creating some type of superhuman force or super this or some resistance to this or some ability to do, not healing the body, ridding of diseases and homeostasis and these focuses. And so when I look at us as a culture and as a people, and I see a lot of people trying to deal with, the psychedelics, and I see that they are skipping steps, a lot of the men, and I'm like, okay, is this why men don't deal with the healing arts? Is because it's education involved. It's like you got to literally learn and study and know things as opposed to just doing things. And it seems to me that women have that innate ability. Like they literally sat around for 9 months feeling every physical change going on in their body and following it in their mind in whichever way they chose to see fit, and understanding this process and what it means and how it affected them and all of these things, then to give birth and then either to breastfeed or bottle feed and have to keep up with changing and doing all of these things, which is literally dealing with another body within internally and then externally and then in a codependent way, right? And the men are just doing whatever they're doing, going making money if he's an active father, going making money, setting up the crib, making sure things is right for when the woman gives birth. So for him, he's still just doing stuff until the baby comes. There's nothing he has to learn or nothing he has to. He can, right? Like when I was going through, being a new father, I was learning right there with. But a lot of us as men just decide to go do stuff until the women have produced whatever it is. So it's like, as I was thinking about it, it was like maybe that's the lack of men in these works, is because they don't spend time with bodies, focused on bodies and thinking about the alteration of bodies. The mothers, that's all they do. They're wiping shit and snot and blood and cleaning earwax and cleaning, you know what I'm saying? They're caring for a baby, right? So they're aware of all these things. Not to mention they went through the changes of the baby within them. Not to mention they went through the healing of their body when their babies came out. Some of them were tore, had stitches, all of these horrific things that to them is just part of the process. So for them, learning these different things and having like, oh, okay, well, if that happened, make sure you get some of this and use this for that. These are discussions that women share, right? Oh, you're going through this, yeah, use this, do. Men aren't asking other dudes, hey, man, I got this crazy lump here. What should I do about this? Or I got this is itching. My man said, oh, my asshole's itching. Oh, that's because you smoking weed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But women pass down, these formulations and these, and when children get sick, oh, okay, here, let me do. And so I was like, maybe that's why, is because I had that experience of being a single father, for like when my daughter was born and me raising her for the first year of her life. Like I was the one who was doing all of those things, who was doing all of the things that women do, changing diapers, wiping the, at that age shouldn't be no blood. She ain't falling and hurting herself. Wiping blood is like when kids get old, they fall down, scratch themselves up. But I'm just saying the aspect of actually the bodily fluids and paying attention to the body. And if she got a fever, this is what we need to do. This was me. This was my job as a parent, right? But usually the women are doing that. And so I think that they just have a natural inclined ability to be healers. You know what I'm saying? And they ride with that and they want to add on to the idea. Whereas men, I guess the idea of being healers, isn't very ingrained into their brain or their mind. They haven't dealt with a lot of experience in having to do that. Like, so I knew dudes when I was in the Army who signed up to be medics. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, what made you want to be a medic, or a doctor or this and that? And a lot of times, those individuals had lives where they had to do something or care for somebody else because somebody in their family couldn't. Or, they maybe took care of an older mother or father who was in a wheelchair or was bedridden or was going through a disease, or their parents weren't there and they had to take care of their little brothers or sisters, and they gave this type of care. They had to be the healers, right? And the nurturers, right? This is a feminine type of aspect. And so I guess I was starting to understand more like why there's not a lot of men in these circles. But man, I do feel like we need, like I'm gonna tell you, when I go on conferences and speak in these different places throughout the US in front of these different crowds and different people, that is one of the things that amazed me most, is that the black men or women, but especially when the black men will come out the crowds and say, yo, it is dope to see you doing this because there's not enough of us in these circles. And it's like now being in these circles for 10, 20 years, I'm like, yo, this is real. There's not a lot of us in these circles, in these healing spaces, even the psychedelic spaces. That's why they were saying Bob Clinton used to go to all these places and be having all of these people sitting on these different, panels and all of this and claiming to be experts and all of this, but they have not done anything. They've studied a lot, but they ain't done nothing, right? But we're out here actually studying and doing and performing and doing these different groundbreaking things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where are the rest of the men at? Because the women, they got it on lock. The women, they are learning everything. They learning everything. They learning the spiritual aspects of healing. They learning the physical aspects of healing. They learning the, physiological aspects of healing. They learning, the medicines, the herbs, the steams, the poultices, and the tinctures, and the animal venoms. The women are leading in showing up for these classes. Like I think we've had 2 men come through class. The rest of them was all women. Let me see. No, 3. Sorry, Ronnie. 3 men. 3 men that I can remember right now this happened. All the rest of the snake venom practitioners that came through class are women. All the people signing up for the alternative healthcare practitioner, introduction to practitioner, all women. It's always women. And I don't have a problem with that. Let me be very clear. I love hanging out, training, and talking to these dope women. But I do invite more brothers to step into the art of healing, learning how to heal your community, how to heal your family. I come from the culture of the man needs to know how to teach and train the woman in everything she does. We should know how to sew. We should know how to garden. We should know the proper ways of healing and herbs and all of these things. This isn't, it's not a woman's job. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's a feminine type of art. Like you see more men in martial arts than you do women, because the men are going to stand at the door and protect and provide and all of this. And I guess the women will be in the back doing the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I get it. I guess it can be seen as like a feminine job or a thing like that. But it's 2026, y'all. You know what I'm saying? If y'all can wear dresses, y'all can learn how to heal. I want to see more men. I ain't gonna say what I want to see, but I just want to see more men in the healing circles. That's what I'm saying. If we could be comfortable doing all types of other things that was once seen as feminine or only women do, like wearing dresses and high heels and purses and wearing lipstick and makeup and doing all of these things that men find themselves doing that was once seen as those as women things, then I feel like the art of healing and nurturing and being able to bring back somebody from a state of illness to health should be included in that. You know what I'm saying? Don't just pick up, the nurse's dress, put on the candy striper's knowledge too. So yeah, I just was sitting thinking about that, and I just want to throw that out there. So fellas, you want to get trained, you want to learn how to become an alternative health practitioner, you want to learn to apply bee venom, cambo, snake venom to alter people's bodies, the animal kingdom. You want to learn the fungi kingdom, the different mushrooms that will help people heal their brains, their immune system, their nervous system, right? All of these different things, how to give somebody a proper detox and then to come back and to fortify their body with the proper nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that's needed for certain processes to be able to take place. Right? You want to learn the order to do all of that in, right? That's what we're talking about. We talk about actually I had a conversation with somebody the other day. They were calling to ask about the alternative healthcare practitioner training course, Healing with the Kingdoms course, and like, what all does it entail and what does it teach and this and that? And I got to explain it properly. I was like, oh man, yeah. Listen, one of the biggest things is that I said was, we could teach and train people how to know what herb to use and what mushroom to use and what snake venom to use and when and why. But what we can't teach is integrity. We can't teach certain principles that come from within. right? You know, and so if you have those principles, you have integrity, you have the want to actually help, to heal, to get people on a journey that will bring them, and there are men needed in these circles, because some men need men to relate to in some of these walks. Some women need men to heal with or in unison with during some of these walks. Some of the walks that I've taken, the women had been with women healers and went through different things and issues and things that whatever comes into that play bothered them, and they felt like they needed something outside of that. And to walk with a man with integrity and with the knowledge and with the focus that could get her through, and to be able to bounce things off of them. A lot of women have issues with male bodies, right? Male and dominant male, what's the word I'm looking for? The way that people, expressions, right? I have a very dominant expression, and I speak really dominant and aggressive, what some people take as aggressive, and it triggers some people. And so some women have told me that they appreciate having me to be able to calm their nervous system and realize where they were triggered at, why they were triggered by certain things, and do the work within that they needed to do to balance themselves within their masculine and feminine expressions, and as well as interactions. And they couldn't do that with a woman, right? So it's all different types of reasons why I feel like we need more men in these healing spaces. Um, However, one of the issues and the problems is that a lot of women see male body members as threats, as, you know, potential for violations and potential for, you know, all of these uncomfortable things. And the reality of the matter is they have a valid point due to what history has shown us. And I feel like that is another reason why we need individuals with integrity as men to come to these healing circles. So that's all I have. And as always, tell somebody you love them in the language they can understand it in. Peace.